Happy Tuesday. As we think about time, I'll just be honest with you. I like to be in control of how things are going to go. I like to have a plan from point A to point B to point C, and I like to have a backup plan in case of X, Y, or Z. So I have backup plan C, D, E, F, and G. Am I a control freak? Probably a little, but I bet you are too. We don't like to not know what's coming. We don't like to have to wait. We want a clear answer, and we want it now. If you've planted a garden and you find yourself either at the beginning of the season waiting for the little seeds to sprout their little greenery, or later on in the season of the garden where you're waiting for enough sun where the plants don't need such constant attention, or in the later season as you're waiting for the tomatoes to ripen or the peppers to ripen, and you're saying, when will this happen? If only I could have more sun, more rain, less rain. I just want to have a clear timeline of this is how it's going to work. As you become wiser in life, often with age, you realize that timelines don't work that way. It's never A to B and done. It's sometimes A to X to Y to Z to B, back to A, over to C, and back to B. And it can be infuriating. It can be confusing. It can fill you with doubt and rage, and it's rarely ever fun. The good news in this is you're not alone in this. It's everybody. It's everybody, including the disciples. Hear these words from the book of Acts. So when the disciples had come together, they asked him, Lord, is this the time where you will restore the kingdom to Israel? And Jesus replied, it is not for you to know the times or periods that God has set up by his own authority, but you will receive the power of the Holy Spirit when it has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all of Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. The disciples want to know. They say, Jesus, is it time? What comes next? How is this going to work? Is it 2 days, 5 days, 12 days, 15 days? I just want to know. I need to know. And Jesus tells his loyal followers who have waited through his death, through his resurrection, readying for his ascension. And he tells them in the most comforting way possible, it is not your place to know. You'll know when it's time because the Spirit will come upon you and you will be witnesses. Now, I can imagine the disciples being just a tad bit disappointed, just saying, how long is it going to take? What's my timeline? If you've ever been in those places that have been rough and tough, if you've ever had sickness or struggles, you know that the clarity of a timeline is somewhat comforting. But the reality is, the timelines we make in this world, the way we look at time, is not always how it works. Sometimes you wait longer, sometimes less. Sometimes you have to wait a whole season before it's ready to pick that ripe tomato or to celebrate with a delightful salsa from the garden. Our lives are very similar. Sometimes things move quick. Sometimes they drag on interminably. The promise that Jesus offers to the disciples, that we are offered as well, is in those times of uncertainty, in those times where you say, when is this going to end? Can't I just get back to normal? Jesus promises the gift of the Holy Spirit and says, no matter what, I'll be with you as we go through this time. I will be with you in the uncertainty. I will be with you in the struggle. I will be with you, period. I hope in the midst of this Holy Week, as we prepare ourselves for the dark times ahead, that you'll realize that this is all too in God's hands. that we are held in those same hands as the disciples, as Jesus was, held closely and loved fiercely. And that the time will pass as the time passes, and you will know when it is time because of the people that surround you and the way the Spirit fills this place and the places in your life. And while it doesn't help to be patient, and it doesn't help to say, I know we'll get there, just know that you're not alone, that you will never be left abandoned, because the Spirit is with you. God is with you. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy